The Michigan Man Podcast, episode 158. Michigan Softball is set to host the NCAA Super Regional this week in Ann Arbor, while Coach Eric Bakich and the men head north to Minneapolis for the B10 tournament. That and more on this week's show. This is the Michigan Man Podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine, for Wolverine fans from coast to coast. Go Blue and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. Coach Carol Hutchins and the Wolverines breezed through the NCAA regionals this past weekend and are now set to host Louisiana Lafayette this weekend in the Super Regionals. On today's Michigan Gameday segment, we're going to get an up-close and personal view of this year's team from two-time Big Ten Player of the Year and three-time consensus All-American, former Wolverine Amanda Chidester, now a member of Team USA Softball for the second season. Before we chat with Amanda, let's get our Wolverine Warmups in for this week. As most of you know, we're on our summer programming schedule of 2 shows a month until August, when we begin in earnest to get ready for football season. Thanks to another great season from Michigan Softball and a resurgent young baseball team led by first-year head coach Eric Bakich, there is still plenty to talk about as we enter the final weeks of May. Coach Carol Hutchins' young and powerful team combined great pitching from sophomore Sarah Drazinga and timely hitting up and down the order to win the NCAA Regional Championship Sunday afternoon by shutting down a good Cal team. Next up is the NCAA Super Regional, which will get underway this weekend in Ann Arbor. The Wolverines' opponent this week, in the best 2 of 3 format, will be Louisiana Lafayette. First pitch this Friday will be at 2 p.m. Baseball needed a strong final weekend in the regular season to scratch its way into this weekend's Big Ten tournament up in Minneapolis. Only 6 teams from the conference make it to the tourney, so congratulations to Coach Bakich and the team for extending the season. It looks like they'll need to win the tourney to gain a berth in the NCAA tournament, but the way they're playing right now, you cannot write them off. Last year at this time, Amanda Chidester was the Big Ten Player of the Year and a consensus first-team All-American. She is now a member of Team USA again for the second season. Recently, I had a chance to chat with Amanda about her Wolverine career, what she's up to now, and get her expert opinion on this year's team. That's next on Michigan Game Day, here on the Michigan Man Podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine. Joining us on our Michigan Game Day segment to talk Michigan softball this week, and it sounds funny to say this, but former Wolverine great Amanda Chidester. Amanda, thanks for coming on the show.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Before we talk about this year's Michigan team, which was one of the reasons that I asked Amanda to come on the show, we can't do that without backing up and talking about Amanda's incredible career at Michigan. So, Amanda, bear with me for just a minute as I run down some of your amazing stats in your career. 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year, 2-time NFCA All-American, Michigan's Big Ten Medal of Honor winner in 2012, finished her career ranked second in RBIs with 200, second in Grand Slams, 5, fourth in slugging percentage, 596, fifth in home runs, 40, ninth in hits, 248, 10th in runs scored, 157. And before that all started, right here in our hometown of Allen Park at St. Francis Cabrini High School, 2008 Detroit Catholic League Female Athlete of the Year, two-time EA Sports First Team All-American, 2007 State Gatorade Player of the Year, three times All-State. Cabrini won state championships in her sophomore and junior years, was runner-up in her senior year. And Amanda, to top it off, you were selected to play for Team USA Softball after your Michigan career ended. It has been quite a journey. And when you graduated from Cabrini and accepted that scholarship to Michigan, in your wildest dreams, could you have imagined the success you would have had in your 4 years as a Wolverine?
I can definitely say I dreamed of, being successful, and it was something that I've always wanted. So for that to actually come true is just, it's amazing. But I would have been able to do it without all the support from my family and all the support from all the coaches and everyone who's helped me throughout the way. So it's definitely unreal. And when you hear it all, when you say it all back to me and stuff, that all happened. But it was just, you can't do it by yourself, that's for sure. And I've had a huge support system that's helped me all the way through. So it's been amazing.
All the accomplishments you achieved at Michigan, and we've just named a few. Believe it or not, folks, if you ever Google Amanda or look at her stats on mgoblue.com, there's a lot more. But that was just some of the highlights. But of all the accomplishments, Amanda, that you achieved at Michigan, what are you most proud of?
The fact that I've made such amazing relationships, and I've learned so much. That's, just being around the University of Michigan and the culture and just, around the coaching staff it's unreal. And the tradition that Michigan has and just to be a part of something so much bigger than myself these last 4 years, it's unreal. Like, there's nothing else out there like it. It's so hard to describe of just how blessed, all of us are to wear that block M and to be able to do the things that we do, because we are a very fortunate team, and we do a lot more than, a lot of teams, and we just, we got to experience a lot, which is awesome.
Well, and you haven't had a lot of time to think about it since you graduated. It's not even been a year yet since your career ended as a player at Michigan. But when you look back at it right now, someone asked you what was the memory that jumps out or you'll cherish as years go on of your 4 years at Michigan as a player.
Jeez, there's so many, but I don't know. There's a lot of different memories just from being on the field and being off the field. We have so many great memories being off the field, but there's nothing like making it to the College World Series. My freshman year, it was unreal. My first year coming in playing college ball, and we make it to the College World Series. And I remember Hutch telling me, this might be the only time you make it back here, so you better soak it up, take it all in, because it's not easy to get here. And she was right. And I think just being there my freshman year, that was awesome. But just everything is. I could go on about all the great things.
That is amazing when you think of it. Your freshman year, you're in the College World Series. The year before, you're playing in the Detroit Catholic League and in the state championship game. It must have been just hard to fathom.
Yes, it was.
Well, you spent 4 years, Amanda, playing for one of the greatest college softball coaches of all time and the winningest coach on campus at Michigan. What was it like playing for Coach Carol Hutchins?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. She always says that she helps people. She grows people up for a living, and and she does a heck of a job of it. And it's just playing for her, and she's not going to take anything but your best. And it's so awesome to have someone every single day be right there to push you to be the best that you can be every single day, and to believe in you all the way through. And just all the life lessons that all of the coaches have supplied us with, like they make us into women, and just strong ones at that. And it's just to be a part of this university and then this program is just it's only gonna help me in my future, and I can't thank them enough for it.
Well, at the end of last season, you were chosen to become a member of Team USA, and I think you were the only new addition last year, weren't you?
There were 5 of us.
What kind of an experience was that?
Oh, it was playing with the best of the best. It was awesome, and there were so many great girls at that tryout, and so much. It was just the best softball I've ever been a part of, and it was awesome to be around, a team of girls that like all have the same, just that same drive, and that, it was just, I don't know, it was just awesome. And we all got along so well, and those coaches, they were great as well. Like, it was a different style, and I got to see a different perspective, and it was just, it made you appreciate the game a lot more, and it was a big learning experience as well, just to play with so many great people. So it was pretty awesome.
And are you going to be back this year?
Yes, I will.
How long do you see yourself playing with Team USA and extending your career?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah. I love softball and I love playing, so I can't see it ending anytime soon.
Well, hey, if you enjoy it, keep it up, and it's been such a great career, so you may as well enjoy it as long as you can.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Amanda, let's take a few minutes to talk about this year's team, which you're still around, and you know all the ins and outs of this year's Wolverine team. A 44-9 regular season, and then somewhat surprisingly losing in the Big Ten tourney semifinals on Saturday to Wisconsin. Given the fact this team is so young, have you been surprised by just how good they've been this year?
I mean, they're a very hardworking team, and they have a drive, and any team that comes in here and they're coached by our coaching staff, you know that they're going to get the best out of everyone, and it's just you come in here and that's what's expected of you. We got to perform to our best, and this team they are young, but they have fun, they play the game, they're a very good team. And if they just stay relaxed, and if they can continue to keep working together, I think they're going to do just fine. They've shown that they can be a great team. So.
Well, when everyone was looking at this team as the season got underway, there were a lot of question marks. Probably in the circle were most of the questions. No one questioned the talent of Dreisinger and Wagner, but they were sophomores. But they have logged a lot of innings this year. Sarah put in 193 innings, Wagner 118 innings, Dreisinger 25-6 overall in the regular season, Wagner 18-2. That's quite the dynamic duo. Talk about those two.
They complement each other very well, and it's just, those two, they have to, they just gotta go out there and play their game, and just like all of us players, sometimes we make it so much bigger than it actually needs to be, and, if they can go out there and just play to their potential and play to what, like us as, their teammates know that they can play at and trust in that, then they're gonna do well. But if they kind of, get themselves a little worked up, it's a different story, and that's how it is for all players. This game is a lot of mental, and we all just need to be able to trust. And I have full confidence that those two can do great things, and they'll continue to do great things because they're great people and they're great ball players. So, and they work well with each other, and so it's just it's postseason, and it's anyone's game now. The game doesn't really know the past of what all these teams have accomplished. So it's it's almost like a new slate, and everyone's going to come out. And so and I have no doubt that those two are going to come out with that confidence that I know that they have.
Well, helping both Dreisinger and Wagner out is a prolific offense, and you played on some just powerful, potent offensive teams at Michigan. But when you look at the numbers for this year's team, Caitlin Blanchard at 400. Sierra Romero, what an incredible freshman year she's had, 397. Ashley Lane hitting 380. Sierra Lawrence, 362. Nicole Sappingfield hitting 331. Amy Knapp, 328. And there are others contributing. Have you seen a better hitting team in all your years at Michigan?
Hitting is very contagious. And this team did a great job feeding off each other. And I think that's huge for them. And I mean, they're doing a great job. They stay within themselves, and it's huge for them. It's every year's different, so you can't really compare this team to the other teams. Every year brings something different to the table. So it's hard to say, but all I know is that these girls, they do a great job feeding off each other, and that's what you need, and it's huge for them.
Well, there's a lot of pop in this lineup, so that should be interesting as we move forward. Were you a little bit surprised at the loss to Wisconsin Saturday?
It's hard to say. I mean, we haven't faced them, and we didn't come out with our best game, and it was just one of those days, and you're going to have those, and we just got to learn from it. So it was definitely a huge learning experience for our girls, and it's a good time for that to happen. So.
Well, given the big bats the lineup has, and then, I mean, just solid pitching heading into the NCAA tournament with Dreisinger and Wagner, do you think this team is set up for a nice run in the tournament?
Yeah, and like I said before, it really just depends on who shows up. We watched the selection show last night, and it was every regional is going to be a tough one, and every game is a tough one. It's just who's going to show up to play their game, who's going to show up to have that attack, who's going to show up ready, guns out, ready to play. And if we can keep that approach, I think that we'll have a great run. And you got to take it one game at a time, that's for sure.
When you look at this lineup, though, Amanda, 2 sophomore pitchers and, just about everyone coming back in the lineup, this team possibly, and who knows, from year to year, season to season, you have to judge them on their own. But this team looks like it's going to be very, very good for the next 2 years, too.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. They have a great freshman class coming in next year, too, so it'll be very exciting to keep following them.
Well, as usual, Michigan softball in great hands with a great future, and we look forward to the upcoming NCAA tournament. Our guest today talking Michigan softball has been Michigan great Amanda Chidester. Amanda, I wish you all the best in whatever you do, and of course, as you mentioned, you're back with Team USA this year and hopefully for a long time, and we hope we can get you back on the show in the future. It's been a pleasure, Amanda.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks again to 2-time Big Ten Player of the Year and 3-time Consensus First Team All-American Amanda Chidester for being our guest today. Coming up next, Wolverine Quick Hits as we wrap it up for another week here on the Michigan Man Podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine. On Wolverine Quick Hits today, sophomore pitcher Sarah Dreisinger stymied the California Golden Bears for the second day in a row, hurling a complete game victory in the number 7 ranked University of Michigan softball team's 3-1 NCAA regional title victory Sunday at the Wilpon Complex, home of Alumni Field. Dreisinger tossed her 3rd consecutive complete game of the tournament, pitching every inning for the Wolverines in their 3 victories. She yielded just 1 run in 21 innings of work. Cal's only tally Sunday came off a Cheyenne Cordes solo home run in the 3rd inning. The NCAA Regional Championship is Michigan's 2nd in a row and 16th overall. The Maize and Blue will appear in the NCAA Super Regional for the 8th time in 9 seasons since the format began in 2005. That Super Regional will be hosted again in Ann Arbor against number 21 Louisiana Lafayette. Game 1 for the best-of-3 series will be at 2 p.m. Friday at the Wilpon Complex. So heading into the action, the Wolverines ranked number 7 with a record of 48 wins and 10 losses. So the best of luck to Coach Carol Hutchins and the Wolverines this weekend. In baseball action, facing a must-win situation to get into the 2013 Big Ten tournament, the University of Michigan baseball team put up season highs in runs and hits in a 19-9 win at Nebraska on Saturday afternoon at Haymarket Park. The Wolverines had 23 hits, 22 of them singles, and batted around in 3 separate innings. With the win, Michigan is the 6th seed in the Big Ten tournament and will play 3rd-seeded Nebraska this afternoon at 3:35 p.m. at Target Field in Minneapolis, home of the Minnesota Twins. The Wolverines heading into the game 29-25 overall, 14-10 in the Big Ten, so the best of luck to Coach Eric Bakich and the Wolverines this week in the Big Ten tournament. 6 former members of the University of Michigan football program recently signed free agent contracts with National Football League teams following the 2013 NFL Draft. 4 seniors from Team 133 will be joining NFC teams: linebacker Kenny Demmons, joined the Arizona Cardinals. Offensive lineman Elliott Mueller inked a deal with the New Orleans Saints. Offensive lineman Patrick Omameh signed a contract with the San Francisco 49ers. And defensive end Craig Rowe agreed to a free agent deal with the Carolina Panthers. Safety Jordan Kovacs and wide receiver Roy Roundtree agreed to contracts with AFC teams. Kovacs signed with the Miami Dolphins, while Roundtree reached an agreement with the Cincinnati Bengals. In all, 8 members from last season's squad will be attending NFL camps. The 6 players joined 2013 draft selections Denard Robinson and William Campbell. Robinson was a 5th-round selection by the Jacksonville Jaguars, while Campbell was chosen in the 6th round by the New York Jets. Don't forget to visit www.gbmwolverine today and sign up for membership. You might think it's that slow time of the year, but one visit to GBM Wolverine will prove to you that is not the case. There is still Michigan softball to talk about, as well as another great football recruiting class taking shape. And of course, it's never too early to start thinking about the fast-approaching 2013 football season. So even though there are vacations to be enjoyed, yard work to be done, and just plain well-earned relaxation on the schedule for the next few months, there is always time to keep up on what's happening with your Wolverines. Make GBM Wolverine a part of your summer schedule. Visit us and become a member at www.gbmwolverine.com. For our many listeners that get the show from iTunes, a special reminder to give us a review when you get the chance. Your feedback is appreciated. The show is now available as an app from the iTunes Store and the Android Market Store at Amazon.com, so we invite you to check out the app. Our phone lines are open 24/7 this summer for your comments on anything maize and blue. Call 313-263-4842. That's 313-263-4842. Give us your name, tell us where you're calling from, and then leave us your thoughts. You can also email us at the Michigan Man Podcast at yahoo.com. That's the Michigan Man Podcast at yahoo.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again to former Wolverine great Amanda Chidester for being our guest today. Amanda will be spending the summer with Team USA Softball for the 2nd straight year. We'll be back on June 5th with our next show, so we hope you'll join us for that. That's it for this week, though. A happy Memorial Day weekend to each of you, and remember to take at least a moment from that day to remember those who have served and given the last full measure of devotion so that we can all be free. Have a great Wolverine week, everyone. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Until then, I'm your host, Mike Fitzpatrick. Take care and go blue. Thanks for listening to the Michigan Man Podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine. You can find us on the web at www.gbmwolverine.com. That's www.gbmwolverine.com. For audio posts or other fan feedback, please call our listener line at 313-263-4842. That's 313-263-4842. Email fan feedback to the Michigan Man Podcast at yahoo.com. That's the Michigan Man Podcast at yahoo.com. The Michigan Man Podcast on GBMW Go Blue Michigan Wolverine is produced at the studios of Robin Lynn Productions, Allen Park, Michigan. The Michigan Man Podcast is not affiliated with the University of Michigan. Go Blue!